also thank you guys, specifically Zach, for saying I had a nice haircut. It's the first time I
I was
could
just about to say
cut
that.
my hair.
You need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
give me
yeah,
some
yeah,
time.
yeah.
You got a nice haircut.
Yeah, you have 45 minutes or
You
50,
got a.
whatever.
You were due for a nice haircut after the coming out of the this man came out of brain surgeries and he's still looking fresh. Like, look at that. Like, that is an accomplishment. Yeah, clap for this man.
Four score 7 years ago.
Oh, huh?
That doesn't have any reference.
No,
It doesn't make any sense. So
you ruined the moment, bro. You ruined the moment.
that's what you tells me. I always ruin the moments, bro. That's fine.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Say Less Basketball Podcast, hosted as always by yours truly, Zach Fulcher, William Donzella, Mohamed Daffleseed, back with another episode 41. Got some new things in the NBA to talk about, some new topics. The MVP race is kind of pulled ahead. Will with the lighter again.
I couldn't find it for a second there.
Yep. But the stuff is kind of pulled away in the MVP race, if I may say so myself. So there's been talk about, and with the Warriors win over the Nets, there's been talking about, should KD have left the Warriors to join the Nets? So we can talk about that a little bit, and then we also got some interesting quotes and graphics from some players. And Giannis is talking about potentially leaving the Milwaukee Bucks in the future. So that's something we can talk about. And then also Andre Iguodala was hesitant about Kyrie being left off the top 75 list overall. And then he's just been talking about it for a while now. So I'm going to bring that up. So first off, the Steph thing, man, it's been crazy. That after some folks hated on the Warriors to begin this season this year, not making the playoffs. Some folks said they're not making the playoffs. No chance at redemption for Steph, and here we are, a full month into the season, and the Warriors are in first place in the West, I believe, and Steph is leading the MVP race, and they beat the Nets. Which was a big win for the Warriors, big win after some schedule. The strength of their schedule has been debated recently. So a lot of people think, should KD have left the Warriors to join the Brooklyn Nets? Do you think so, Will?
Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure the Warriors still have the easiest schedule. I don't know. I'll look that up when I'm not talking, but so I think this narrative that he I don't know, because the way people look at this, they're like, well, he shouldn't have left because, the team was better. Obviously, the Warriors are better, right? If you're looking at to win, the Warriors were better to stay at. But I think he left because of how they managed his injury and the culture, like he talked about with Draymond. I don't think we've talked about it. We talked about it back, when the interview happened. I don't think he was totally honest during that interview with Draymond. I think that what happened between him and Draymond, and then how the rest of the team didn't really go up to Draymond and be like, hey, you can't do this, or management didn't really do anything. I think that really mattered. And so I think that's why he left. I think it was more about the culture the team was creating, the fact that they mismanaged his injury. Yes, he willingly played. He still played a part in that, but they kind of maybe misled him to think he had a calf injury. So I think it was more about that, and the fact that he and Kyrie were, I guess, really close, which I didn't know they were that close, but they are. And so I think it's more about that. If you wanted to win, you stay with the Warriors. There's no way you leave. The Warriors are way better. Because you have to think about the variables. You say, even joining up with Kyrie, you have uncertainties leaving, right? Because if you stay with the Warriors, you got Steph, you got Clay when he comes back, you have a team that's won. Whereas going and teaming up with other players, you have variables that you don't know if they're going to pan out the way you want them, like winning, You don't know if Kyrie and you are going to work. You don't know the team you're going to get around. So like all that stuff. So I personally think it was more about management, Muhammad.
I think it was just legacy wise. He made good points about the mismanagement of his injury and stuff, which I agree with. Um, Especially the whole thing of like how the way the teammates reacted. Because remember how Jordan and Pippen and Rodman, how they reacted to what's it called? Was it Pippen mismanaging his surgery? I think that last season they were together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Basically, he got called out by his teammates, saying that, you can't do that. And obviously the game-winning basket by Kukoc in '94 that Pippen had a problem with because he didn't take the last shot, and a lot of his teammates were mad about that. So if I was KD, probably KD thought that maybe he's not important to this organization as he thought he was. So I think that had something to do with it. And when I said legacy, I meant in terms of how it was kind of Steph's team, Steph's city. No matter what KD did, he won 2 back-to-back Finals MVPs. But people still seem to treat Steph as like the guy there. Even though to some people he was a better player, to me he was. But I definitely think legacy was, because if he stayed the rest of his career, I mean, he probably would have won more for sure. But it's like, it's always going to be Steph's team. He's the one that was the best player before he came, and he's the one that won 73 games. He's the one that brought the Warriors, their first chip in like 40 years. So it's like, he's probably the second most popular player after LeBron, for sure.
I could see him ending up being like Pippen, and then 30 years later, 20 years later, making all these comments.
I think it would have been more like Kareem to Magic.
No, I'm not saying like that role. I'm saying like Pippen. You know how Pippen's coming out lately. He has many times. I'm starting to wonder about him, but like he'll just randomly attack Jordan, or like all that stuff, and you can see the jealousy.
Yeah, but like Pippen's had some unfortunate things that happened to him in his life lately. So I think that has something to do with his recent comments. And
that is true.
At the same time, he's trying to sell a book. So it's like, okay, I think those are probably big reasons why Pippen did that. But KD would, I know he's like one of those guys to like maybe like a post in the future of being like, oh, KD was the reason the Warriors won those 2 chips. I forget about Steph. I feel like someone like that would happen with his social media in the future. But other than that,
I think he already has done something like that.
No, he was liking like a bunch of Warriors reporters saying, "Oh, what was it? It was like some Warriors reporter was saying, "Oh, KD made a mistake to leave it." There, a lot of people like subtweeting it and saying, "Why do you guys keep talking about him? You already left, blah blah blah." And KD was liking those, like the fans' comments. He wasn't liking like, oh, Steph is worse than KD or something. I don't think he meant that.
Okay, yeah.
But those are my things. So I think it's just legacy wise. I think that was the biggest reason. Maybe the Draymond fight and mismanaged injury was, little like, things that kind of just, gave him like the actual, like, okay, for sure I'm leaving now. But legacy, I think that was the biggest issue. So I don't know, Zach, since you're the Warriors fan here. What do you think about?
You make some good points. I think it's a mix of all of those. I think, the fact that it didn't work out the last year, they didn't win the championship the last year. I think that plays into it, because obviously if they win, I think against the Raptors and everyone's healthy, then he comes back.
No, I don't think so.
But it didn't happen. It didn't win. And I think that played a part in it too. That it's kind of like he was kind of like, man, we didn't win this year. We were supposed to win. It didn't happen, and I think he had to deal with that. And then also, the things you said about Steph creating the culture, I think that plays a big reason too, because he can never be that guy in Golden State. Even though you can argue he's the best player, you can argue that he brings the most to their team or whatever. But in my opinion, that's not true, obviously. But I don't think he never can be the heart and soul of the Warriors, because that's Steph, and he wants to be the heart and soul and the leader of a team, I guess. And that's why he went to Brooklyn, because he feels that he can link up with Kyrie and James Harden, and he can be the centerpiece, and they can build around him, and he can be that guy in Brooklyn, which he has been so far. I think he has been that guy in Brooklyn so far. But it's not really. I question the way he chose to leave so suddenly after with Kyrie and James Harden, who are, in my opinion, way less more valuable than and winning for a winning team than Steph is. So I think
Better though.
what?
Well, never mind. I'm not gonna say
Okay.
anything.
Okay. But I think
He was waiting for that. He was waiting.
it's the same thing. I think it's kind of the same thing with his move from the Thunder. Obviously everyone thinks, okay, well, for your legacy, for your career, for your entire everything is going to be better if you stay with that team. You're going to win more you probably would have won more and gotten, or probably would have won or gotten more legacy if he'd stayed with the Thunder. I think that his legacy wouldn't have been nearly as jeopardized as it was, or tainted when he joined the Warriors. A lot of people, I mean, it speaks for itself, and the same thing with the Warriors. He left that culture of winning because I don't think he felt like he fit. I think he said this before too, about how he never really felt. And I remember this. I remember this from an interview with Steph, that the new year when they were getting acclimated to because they moved from what's the arena they're in now? Are they in the
Oracle Arena to Chase?
The Chase Center? Yeah, they moved from the old one to the Chase, or from Oracle to Chase, right? And he was doing an interview about the new era because KD left and they got the new stadium. And I think KD publicly said that he never felt that he was acclimated to the culture. And the reporter asked Steph about this, and Steph was just kind of like, well, we won 2 championships, it's all love for him. So I definitely think he did not feel like he fit and was welcomed in that culture as much as he wants to be, which is why he went to Brooklyn to be that guy. I think that's the main reason. And then obviously the stuff with Draymond, his bond with Kyrie, all played a factor in that as well.
I do want to say the Warriors have had by far the easiest schedule in the NBA thus far. And it's honestly astounding how much easier it is than everybody else, other than the Suns. The Suns are kind of close, but they have the 9th hardest remaining schedule. However, the remaining schedules are really close. They're separated by a point. And like this metric, I don't even know what it really means. But so they've had a really easy schedule. Bulls are up there, difficult. It's amazing. The Bulls have they have a really easy schedule remaining, apparently, Mohammed. So
yeah, I mean, after they play the Knicks, they play like 6 bottom 5 teams.
I'm looking for the rest of the season.
It's deserved.
Yeah, after that.
Well, yeah, after the first
behemoth of a battle,
16 games, been against a bunch of top 5 teams in the league.
Yeah, that's tough. They're grinding it out though. 11-5.
No Vooch, no Pat. 11-5, went 5-3 in the Wilson. It's crazy. Thought DeMar DeRozan wasn't gonna work. Top 2.
That's a classic. That's the classic quote there. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine won't work together from Stephen A. Man, that's tough.
Worst off season.
Oh yeah, worse. Didn't somebody say that? Jack has not been on. It's funny. Jack has not been on the podcast since
the Bulls started winning.
Made those massively insane Bulls takes. He hasn't been on to back him up yet. So we're still waiting on you, Jack.
Probably not awake. He'll have some excuse.
Where you at, Jack? Where you at? But say what you want about the Warriors, Will. You always you gotta say, oh, they have the easiest schedule. It's not close. It's very condescending, if I do say so myself. But say what you want, but they're winning, and they're winning against bad teams, and they're winning against beating the Nets. They've beaten the Bulls. They've beaten the Pistons. I know they beat the Pistons, I think, their last game without Steph. I mean, they're beating teams without Steph. It's the Pistons. It's not much, but if they can get it.
So you're saying that Steph isn't that valuable to them winning, is what you're saying, because they're winning without Steph.
God, they won 1 game with the Pistons. Stop.
I'm just repeating what you said.
It's still early though. Nothing really is a lock right now. It's kind of funny that we're talking about this. It's going to be funny to look on how this plays out and how we can laugh about these early episodes and how much we might be wrong. So still a lot of time left in the season. We're barely like 20% in, I think. I don't even know if we are, but nothing is a lock right now, boys. Some people I saw it on Instagram. Somebody asked, is Steph an MVP, a lock for MVP right now? And I was like, oh man. And the comments were like, no way. The season is way too long for him to be a lock right now.
Yeah, Zach LaVine's on the come up.
Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan definitely needs to be in it, yeah.
I think DeMar will slow down. I think Zach LaVine's going to be for sure, clear-cut best player on the team in a couple of games.
Okay. Isn't DeMar averaging like the third highest points per game right now? Isn't he averaging like 26 or something like that?
He's like top 5 or top 7.
Yeah,
I don't think it's top 3.
That's crazy.
Pretty sure it's Steph, KD, and I don't know. I think Ja.
KD is leading, right? And then
no, it's Steph. Steph for sure is leading.
That's crazy.
That is crazy if he's leading.
That's not crazy if he's leading. What? How is that crazy if he's leading?
I'm shocked. Yeah, he's up by 0.9.
Are you gonna adjust your take, Will? Are you gonna bail out and the Warriors not making the playoffs?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to.
It's Steph.
I just wanted to
KD, Giannis, Zach LaVine, and DeMar. Those are your top 5.
Really? DeMar's still top 5?
Yeah. He's barely behind Zach LaVine. 0.2
Oh yeah, I think they averaged the same amount of points before last game, actually.
Yeah,
so 2 of the top 5 scorers in the NBA.
They're dangerous. They're dangerous, no doubt about it.
I'm the come up, man. I'm the come up. Bulls got next.
But next up, it's a good topic there. But next up, we got this thing from Giannis. So he said, "Me and my family chose to stay in this city that we all love and has taken care of us for now. In 2 years, that might change. Giannis, I'm potentially leaving the Bucks for a new challenge. Do you guys think Giannis should leave the Bucks? What do you guys think can happen in the next 2 years for him to leave? And where do you think he might be going? What do you think his thoughts are of his next destination, possibly? Will?
As a big Giannis fan, I think he might be heading towards the Bulls. No, I'm kidding. That won't happen. I would be so happy.
That would be unreal.
But I don't really know why he wants to leave. Maybe he's just one of those guys that does want, like, once he's done it, he just is like, oh, I've done it. But this quote kind of caught me off guard after everything he's said in the past, like, couple of years and whatnot.
Apparently, some of these quotes are from his agent, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's speaking through his agent.
So, let's see. I don't know. Why would he leave? I really don't know. Maybe the team will just go crumbling to the ground and Budenholzer will start playing him less and less minutes. It's possible. But I wouldn't leave. It's you run into a KD like situation again there because you know what you have in Milwaukee and you know that team's really good. They built it well around Giannis. He seems to be improving. I would stay unless I'm teaming up with like somebody like John Morant or somebody, Luka in the future, unless I'm going to team up with somebody, I'm probably not leaving because he's also going to get that narrative as soon as he leaves. That narrative is going to fall on him. He's going to get pinned as a, build a super team kind of player. That's just what's going to happen. Unless, of course, he like does the opposite of what everybody thinks and goes to like the Pistons, then that would be. At that point, I don't know what I'd say, but I would stay. Giannis, I would stay.
Well, from the quote, he said, it's just more about challenges, and he said, he brought a championship to the Bucks, which is very, very hard. He loves challenges. So what's the next challenge? The next challenge might not be here. So based off that quote, I'm just like, okay, so what's the next challenge? Is it bring another championship to another franchise? Um is it building a brand? So going to a big city market team? Um, I feel like some guys, I'm not trying to accuse Giannis of having a big ego, but it's like, okay, he's getting to a part of his career where he's going to be considered a top 15 for sure, top 20 player of all time. He's going to be considered a top 2 player in the NBA. He already has his own shoe. So it's like, okay, maybe he's going to accumulate more fame. So his ego is going to get bigger. And, a player of his stature is not going to stay in the city of Milwaukee. I don't feel like. I think eventually he's going to have to leave. And if he's saying he wants the next challenge, then I think maybe he has to just go win another title with another team. And I don't know who that might not. I don't know who's that's going to be, but I'm just curious as you guys. We always talk about like players today are kind of like soft and the whole teaming up, super team thing. And we saw Giannis win last year. Like, okay, Giannis might be not that guy, right?
Mhm.
But after these quotes, it's like, okay, he's trying to make it the way he's trying to say like, oh, I just want next challenge. But I feel like it's just saying that to sugarcoat. I just want to be straight up. I don't want to stay in Milwaukee my whole life. I think that's the whole issue. So that's just my thoughts.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I agree.
I would say maybe, 2 years is a long way to go. There's a lot of things that can happen in the next 2 years. So I think if he, there's definitely that aspect though. There's definitely, we don't know if he wants to stay the rest of his career in Milwaukee. So there's definitely that.
I mean,
yeah.
He signed that Supermax. Does he have a player option in that Supermax in the middle of that contract?
Usually they do.
Okay. Because I was going to say, he can't stay. I mean, if he can't leave until 5 years after this deal, then okay, that's a long time.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna do it though. I think he'll stay in Milwaukee.
I think he will.
Yeah. So
bro, Drew Holiday's in his 30s, so by the time in a couple of years, he's gonna be getting to a point where he's gonna be declining. Chris Middleton's older than Giannis. He's about 29 right now, so he might be entering his prime. But I feel like, okay, if Drew starts to get injured or he starts to get too old, who else is Milwaukee gonna bring in?
Chris Paul.
Yeah, he gonna be out the league. He gonna be out the league.
Dude just seems to get.
Okay, I forgot to say this, but one thing I saw Richard Jefferson and Perkins and everybody on ESPN talk about it.
Oh, God.
They said sometimes they made a good point. They said sometimes players say these type of things because they want to put pressure on the front office because they said, if a player says, "Oh, I'm happy here. This is the best, best career choice for me," or all that stuff, front office is like, okay, we'll lay back and just chill because, okay, he's obviously happy. So they're not going to be as aggressive to go for, other players to make the team better. So they say stuff like that and they don't tell the front office. They just, put it out in, media. They're going to be like, okay, well, we don't want to lose our best player, our franchise star. So it just puts more pressure on the front office. So I thought that was a good point. So maybe that's what it's just a smoke screen.
Yes, I didn't even think about the fact that the team is aging and he can't really leave for 4 years.
Yeah, he's still really young. He's only 26. This is crazy.
Yeah, but Drew Holiday, like some of the key players, Brook Lopez, Drew Holiday,
they're getting older.
Dante DiVincenzo is nice, but he's clearly injury prone. Clearly,
do you guys think Milwaukee could build another good team like this after those guys? Could they replace those guys? You think?
You can. I mean, Middleton is, like you said, he'll probably be entering his prime, or he's probably already in his prime. He's entering it currently.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can replace Drew Holiday, in my opinion. You just need a workhorse. That's really what you need. I don't know who that would be because I can't see 5 years down the road. 4 years. I don't know who will come into the league, but you just need somebody who does the dirty work, kind of.
I feel like this is gonna be a classic. Front office doesn't build a good enough team around the player, so they get frustrated and they just end up getting out of
It's
there.
possible. I mean, it could be like
Yeah.
LeBron on the Cavs on the
I was going to
first.
compare that, but I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Well, nothing's really fair to that. I mean,
Yeah.
that was an abomination.
That was that's a good way to put it.
Abomination.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where he's gonna end up. I just hope he wins. I just want him to win. And since I want the Bulls to win too, there's a line, the two. Let's have them come together. Dang it, we're probably missing the best part.
They'd have to make meet in the Eastern Conference Finals though, Will. Somebody's gonna have to win it.
No, I'm saying go to the Bulls, Giannis.
Oh, they're the Bulls. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying like I want the Bulls to win and I want Giannis to win. So if the Giannis is on the Bulls, then collectively I can kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
People will come to the Bulls after this season, bro. Trust me.
Oh yeah. They won't do DeMar and Zach like they did D Rose, bro.
We hope not. Or you guys hope not. You question my Bulls fan credibility. But I will say I think that's good.
Question it every day.
Oh my God. But I will say that's good if Giannis is doing this to pressure the front office, because I feel like if he doesn't do that, they definitely will slack off. Because I feel like we saw a part of that side when they lost in the bubble and then they didn't make any moves going in, and then Giannis was like, I don't know, I might leave. And then they were all like, oh shit, we have to do something. So they got Drew Holiday, right? So I think
facts.
I think he put pressure on him back then, and it worked. So if he does it, if he keeps doing it now, then
well, the other thing
I think they'll make the good.
They got a similar situation up north in the same state with a different team in a different league.
Oh,
with a player of his stature. So
yeah, is the player the same as dramatic or more dramatic, I should say?
I'm saying situationally. I'm not going to talk about the egos or personalities. Just situationally, they have a similar situation. That's all I'm saying.
Something about Wisconsin.
Up there in Wisconsin.
They got to understand at some point, people got to understand, like, it's Milwaukee and Green Bay. Like, nobody's going to sign.
It's Green Bay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking of
what do you think I was talking about?
The Wisconsin Badgers.
Pretty sure Madison's to the east of it.
Whatever, bro. Just shush.
That's awkward silence after you said the Badgers. Oh my God.
I don't like the Badgers. I want to say
it's crazy because it's Aaron Rodgers and Giannis, like, two of the best players in their positions, and they can't sign people. And same thing with LeBron. LeBron's basically a top two players, his second year in the league, and it's like, okay, all those 7 years, no big free agent except for a broken down Shaq signed with Cleveland. So, Giannis, if I was Giannis, I'd look at that. I'm like, okay, if Drew Holiday gets sold, Brook Lopez gets sold, we sign maybe replaceable guys, but they're not as good. Or maybe they're just good, but it's not good enough in the future because maybe better teams are out there. He's got to look at that. I'm Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm potentially has the biggest potential to be a GOAT right now out of every, star in the league, other than, Kevin Durant, Steph, LeBron, whatever, all those guys. If I can't sign people at Milwaukee right now or in the future, then, if that's not good enough for people to come to Milwaukee, then I got to leave. It's straight up, just like that.
Yeah, that's facts, yeah. That's the way it is. There's more power for the players this generation, for sure. Because they can do whatever they want. They can
dictate everything.
Yeah, because they're the players. Give credit to it's a business. If the organizations can trade away and sign players and do whatever they want, willingly, then the players should be able to have that right too, I think. So, and
I want to say this.
Shouldn't have their individuality compromised. So, sorry. Go ahead, Will.
Bro, start speaking louder.
Sorry.
He wanted to make sure he got his point across. He started speaking faster, louder. He was like, come on, bro. Let me get my moment real quick.
Sorry.
Let me get my 2 cents. I want to say, though, like, maybe this, like, the whole putting pressure on them to make moves is a good thing because
obviously,
but I'm saying, like, if I'm Giannis, if I'm being totally honest with myself, I might look at my championship last year and I might be like, we caught a lot of breaks, like a lot. A lot had to go right for us to get this. So let's just say the world is normal. Do I really believe we still win? Obviously he does. But if you're being honest with yourself, you're going to say that. And he's going to be like, you know what? We can't settle because this team is probably not good enough to win as is now. It might be, but I'm just saying, like, if he's looking at it, he might be thinking like that. And I know no player will ever admit that, but
Yeah.
He's being honest with himself. If he's being honest with himself.
I think the only luck they caught was Brooklyn. That was it. And Brooklyn's in the same situation, not same situation, but they're in a different situation where Kyrie's probably not play this year. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. So if I was honest, I'm like, okay, if Kyrie's the X factor in us winning a championship or getting to the finals or not, then I think
I like my chances.
I like my chances over Sixers without Ben Simmons. That's probably gonna get traded. A Bulls team that's starting to come up, a Hawks team that's still young, and they couldn't stop you last year. Who else? That was it. Miami Heat. You swept them in the first round.
Oh yeah.
So it's basically if I can beat KD and Harden, and I should be straight.
Yeah. He beat most.
I was also thinking the West, but
Well, yeah, but I think getting to the finals is not good enough. But I think that's just. That's what he should be thinking about right now. It's a good start. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't get there, you obviously can't win the championship. So.
Yeah.
Kind of how that works.
You never know when to get to the finals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Obviously.
Suns.
They have a good chance. Lakers still come out the West. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, once the Lakers figure out the issues, it's over for us at the league.
Yeah.
I want to see if LeBron comes back.
Oh, he did. He did, didn't he?
Yeah, but he got hurt.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that.
You got hurt against the Celtics?
I don't know. I thought he did. I was reading.
I don't think he did.
Oh, well, then they list him as day-to-day just because.
Oh.
Load management.
Okay.
It'll be load management for the Lakers. Load management Lakers. Speaking of Kyrie and this Nets and everything, we also have this Andre Iguodala quote. He says, "Magic, Steph, Isaiah, they're the only guys that I will allow you to say are better than Kyrie. Chris Paul, I'm not mad at, but I've got Kyrie on his top NBA point guards." Do you think Iggy is right in this aspect? I mean, he's a stern veteran, one of the best defensive players in his prime. So do you think that Kyrie is a top 5 NBA point guard all time? Do you think he should have been on the list, the top 75 list? Will?
No.
Oh,
No.
Okay.
This is insane to me. We've gone through our top 5 point guards list. Who did he say he had before? He said Steph, Magic, and Isaiah, right?
He said Magic, Steph, Isaiah, and maybe Chris Paul.
And maybe Chris Paul. Okay. Well, I would be looking at somebody else before I look at Chris Paul, and I'd still be considering Chris Paul before Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie's. See, it's hard because now we're getting the definition of greatest or best. Like, are we looking at accomplishments or just pure skill? Because if you just look at skill, we've talked about this. I think Mohammed and I agree. You can make the argument Kyrie's the most skilled offensive player ever. He might be.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, but in terms of a point guard, I mean, I think Kyrie's history, his past kind of speaks for himself. He doesn't exactly lead to winning. He doesn't seem to have the dog in him that it takes. And I want to preface that by saying everybody says Kyrie couldn't win without LeBron in Cleveland, right? The Cavs got better when Kyrie was there. They actually improved, all right? So it's not like he didn't help them get better. It's just he couldn't bring them over the top because nobody probably could. When you're drafting like Anthony Bennett and whatnot with the first overall pick.
Yeah.
But I don't think then you see him go to the Celtics and they do a little worse, which there's more to that. But I just don't think I don't know how you put him over, any of those guys he listed. Maybe even looking at Chris Paul, John Stockton. There's got to be other people I'm forgetting, but he's definitely not better than Steph, Magic, or Isaiah. No question. No, not better than John Stockton to me. Probably, I don't know how Oscar Robertson is not Robertson is not in this conversation as well, because I don't think Kyrie is better than him. So, tough. That's tough. I'm sorry, Kyrie.
Oscar Robertson is certainly on. I think he should be on this list just for the pioneering aspect and what he brought and the triple doubles and everything. So this is really, like you said, this is really a debate between skill, best, and then most accomplished or legacy. So I don't know, his legacy after LeBron, after Cleveland, has been very lackluster. And if he doesn't continue to play this year, I don't know how you can put him in the top 5 if his career is shorter than a bunch of other guys like Stockton, Westbrook, and everything.
Oh boy,
Mohammed, you have something to say?
That's your indication to shut up, Zach.
Okay, Mom, you got something to say, Mo?
Let me say this.
I've got my point across. Anyway.
You guys gotta stop making me laugh, okay? I can't be laughing like this.
Okay, my fault.
Oh, my bad.
Chill.
My fault. Okay. I understand Andre Iguodala. Okay, I understand where he's coming from. I might agree with him. I'm gonna say this. Over the years, as kids, in high school, maybe before college, we look at players and we're like, okay, that guy's a beast because of he averaged this, he won this many chips, blah blah blah. But as I got older and I started to not like these lists because I feel like media just does them, even the top 75. It's funny because when you look at like the NBA, the NFL's top 100, how its players voted, and it's way different than what most analysts or fans would say. And like over time, I would see like guys like Jamal Crawford or Chauncey Billups or Tracy McGrady. They come out and say, "This is my top 3 players. This is my top 5. This is my top 10." And it's way different than what other people say, especially for fans and media experts and whatever. So I've started to think like, I feel like players.
Maybe they know better.
The thing is, I feel like they don't care about the accolades or whatever they did in their career. They just straight up say, when I played against him, I feel like he was the best player that I ever played against, to guard or maybe to defend me or for me to defend him, whatnot, just vice versa, all that stuff. So I think to most players, I don't think they care about the championships, the MVPs, the stuff. They just say straight up, that guy's the best player I've ever seen, or that's the guy's the best player I've ever played against. So I understand where Iggy's coming from. So us fans, we just watch. So what we see and over a guy's career is what we see, and we have a different perspective. But I feel where he's coming from. So I don't get mad when players come out and say like, remember when Kobe used to say, or KD said, Tony Allen's the best defender that's ever played against me. Nobody considers a Tony Allen, a top 5 defender or whatnot. So it's just okay. That was a weird quote to most people, but to those guys, it's just straight up that's how they feel, and they're the actual players because they play against them.
Yeah, I understand. I was thinking back to like PJ Tucker. Remember last year in the playoffs, he said like he would literally watch film of KD and the moves, like to study every aspect, where he's gonna go if he dribbles once to his right, like what is he gonna do? That probably made PJ Tucker a harder defensive player for KD than say like I don't know, like a Giannis or whatever, maybe players that everybody would agree are better defensively, but maybe didn't put forth that kind of effort. So I see your point there. I don't know, maybe when it's all said and done, Kyrie, like if he comes back and helps him win a championship this year, he'll have some of the stuff he needs, but right now.
Well, those guys like 4 generals, most of the people that we were talking about before him and after him, the list, whatever. So I feel like, Kyrie's never going to prove that in terms of actual being a point guard. He's not going to prove that he's a top 5 to most people. Like I said, I don't even think
This
Steph
is
top 5, but
why
I
this is
think
why these lists are ridiculous.
that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
You know, it's just So
Yeah, you're right. You're right, though, Mohammed. I definitely think that the players who play in the NBA have more of a. So they don't have a they don't have an agenda. They don't. There's no.
everybody has the same view. Everybody watches it, whether you play against them or you're the fan watching. But
Yeah.
just like I said, like players actually on the court, when they like look at another guy, like damn, okay, I'm going up against him. Like Will said, PJ Tucker studied all of KD's moves. He still put up 48 in that, that game 7 or game 6, whatever last year.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like if PJ Tucker did all of that and he played against KD and he witnessed it firsthand, if he comes out a couple years later and say, KD is the greatest player I've ever seen, KD is the greatest player I've ever played against, to his eyes, it's fair because, like Will said, he studied him. He still couldn't stop him. KD still went out there and dropped that triple-double in game 6 or 7, whatever. So it's like, okay, it's a fair point. And I wouldn't be mad about it. Like maybe, in a junior in high school, I would probably get mad. Like, no, that's crazy. Kyrie's not top 5. I put Chris Paul, Isaiah, all those guys, whatever. But like I said, as I got older, it's like, okay, I see more and more players come out and say different opinions, way different than fans say or Stephen A. Smith would say. So it's like, okay, I understand where you're coming from.
Would you say you're woke? No.
Nah, I just say I'm a genuine human because those are rare these days. So, like I said,
Wow.
me
very
saying
humble,
I
very
understand
Very
other
humble.
opinions. I accept other people's opinions without saying you're stupid. See,
right.
that's rare in these days, and I think I've ascended to another echelon of mankind that nobody's achieved yet.
Okay.
Oh,
wow!
This man is basically declaring himself a god, basically a god.
He's the chosen one, ladies and gentlemen. He's a new echelon.
Don't put words in my mouth. I was just saying
a new echelon of human
see.
existence.
Like I said, I'm saying
one,
what I see, what I feel, and that's what I feel. So
no one else has reached where you're at. Okay.
It's a fair opinion. I never seen somebody come out and say these exact words on the internet or in person. So, like PJ Tucker, I've ascended to another level. Okay, like in Iguodala, I've ascended to another level. I can say these things. I can understand other people's opinions, but hey, I understand my own opinion at the same time. That's what I'm saying.
Facts. Yeah, I would say that the media hard to top that.
I know what we're posting tomorrow. I know what we're
it's hard to move
posting.
It's hard to move on from that. But yeah, the media has an agenda with these lists, and they purposely
narratives.
Yeah, they purposely and the narratives. Yeah, and they purposely leave people off.
It's all about views and money.
Yeah, to boost the views and money, right? So I think that's why these players are more genuine because they're playing against these guys and they don't have an agenda or a narrative they follow with it. So, and they're just being real. So,
Just being 100.
Yeah. So that's respect.
Could be 110.
Maybe 105. You don't know.
Could be 200% extend the S.
No, that's
you can't
nobody's
understand.
Up there, bro.
You
nobody's
can't understand 200% because you haven't been up there.
Okay.
You're not there.
I haven't extended to the astrological plane.
Have you even hit 100?
Oh,
Mom, has he hit 100?
Cool. Zach?
Yeah.
Zach, yeah.
No, he's a biased Warriors fan, so I don't even think he's at
okay.
75.
75? Oh, okay.
75, man.
Not even at 75. Damn.
Not even at 75.
You got to understand other aspects of the game before you could even get to 85. And then maybe after 85, you could start ascending to where I'm at. But
can anybody that didn't watch the NBA before 2016 be hit 200 theoretically?
It's a fair point, bro. You're a post 2016 guy, so.
But those how was it? Those 5 years have been very quality. A lot of quality.
Yeah, for a Warriors fan.
Oh.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why you're a biased Warriors fan because of that timeline.
My fault. That's my fault.
You'll be there one day, Zach. You'll get the 200.
Accepting is your first step, bro. So you're good.
Accepting, okay.
The grieving process.
It's all about maturing as a human. That's all you got to do.
I feel like I've done that. I feel like I've done that.
Well, I mean, if you come out here and spread a bunch of false narratives about the Warriors and stuff, then I don't think you've matured.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
Damn. Oh, wow.
I'd like to hear more about this one episode. I'd like
That'd
to
be
hear you
tough.
guys. I just want to hear about this conversation.
If you guys want to go down the list, I could do research and I could look up top 5 lists for ESPN or CBS Sports or Yahoo for point guards, players of all time, defenders, and I could go and research, what players say themselves, and I could show you guys the difference, and then I could make fair points for those players.
Just make a Frank list. Just get Frank's Frank's lists.
Yeah, let me hit up Frank.
Oh man.
If you ever want to have an argument there, that's who you need to hit up.
Running game.
Dang well he's gonna come up with some list that everybody's gonna be like, huh?
Yeah, Andre Drummond's gonna be a top 5 player in the league. Apparently by now, according to Frank.
I mean, did you see him this past week with Joel Embiid out? I mean, he was averaging like 13 rebounds a game and 15 points. He could,
yeah, biggest double machine in the league.
Yeah, I mean, you play him enough time, he's gonna get you a double.
Yeah, thanks.
True. That one quote from the front office executive that said Drummond can give you 20 points and 20 rebounds and still not have an impact on the game.
Bogus as shit.
Oh, that's so bogus, man.
So bogus. Imagine saying
wish
that.
a
20
player
points and 20 rebounds. That's just.
I wish a player would come back and be like, you could just, I don't know, just say something like, you can make a trade or you could run the franchise for 15 years and still not make an impact on the team.
I wish somebody would come back and say Andre Drummond is the toughest person they played against. I wish somebody would say that.
That would be funny. In response,
that'd be awesome.
If that happened, oh my god.
How you gonna defend that one, Mohammed?
He's an elite force.
You're 200.
Understanding it is the main key, bro. So I have to understand where they're coming from. They say that and they played against Drummond themselves. You
have to walk a mile.
Bro, we
in
talk
shoes,
about
right?
this, dude. Come on, like we talk when we play, like randomly. If you play like a college, not even D1 athlete, just a college basketball player, you see how better they are in terms of like us regular folks.
I was literally just about to bring that up. I was literally just gonna say that.
We play against those people and like, dang, that's the greatest player we ever seen. Like, we talk about DJ. DJ doesn't even. DJ, if you watch this, I'm not trying to call you out or nothing. Obviously, you're a really good player, but it's like DJ's level, and then there's a D3 athlete, and D2, D1, obviously, and then there's an actual player that's gonna go to the league maybe. And like Zach said, you that Paul Reed guy in your class, right?
Yeah.
I mean, saying, did you ever watch his practice? Did you ever go to his games?
Yeah, I watched the game. Yeah, he's pretty dominant rebounds. And
okay, you were that close to him, right?
Yeah.
You saw how tall
he was. He was in my class. Yeah, he was in my class.
Yeah.
He's real tall.
Right.
Yeah.
So exactly. So it's like, dang. Imagine if he pulled up to that point we played at Winfield.
Oh my God.
Imagine he pulled up and played against us. He's gonna destroy us.
Yeah.
And to us, he's like, dang, that guy looks like Hakeem, or that guy's like Kareem to us. Like that's how it is.
Yep.
So Iguodala is like, he played against Kyrie. He's like, damn, Kyrie might be the top 5 point guard I've ever seen. Like,
man, I need to go to college and all these players that they might be the best players. Because
I don't know, bro. Gassing them up is not going to be a good thing to do.
I don't know, bro. Some of those guys. There's this dude that was like 6. No, not even. He was like 5'10". He was a point guard, obviously, and he was insane. I don't know how this kid was so good. Like, honestly, I watched him, and I was just like, he's skinny, he's lanky, he's not really fit or anything. He doesn't look fast. Averaged like a triple-double or something for, 10-game stretch or whatever. Easily the best player on our team, which, granted, we're not, UIC, but he was really freaking good. And I would like that's that gap you're talking about, because if he went up and played against probably like Zion or whoever, RJ at that time, he'd probably have gotten killed. And I would have probably been like, man, you're trash, which just shows you how bad I am.
Yeah.
There's levels to it. There's levels.
Yep.
That's just how it is.
Reminds me of that Brian Scalabrine. Reminds you of that Brian Scalabrine quote.
Yep.
When a fan was trash talking him, and he said that Brian said that I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me.
Yeah, that's facts. So
yeah, that's facts though. Yeah, that's really something to think about in the future with players coming in and coming out, and who's going to be the GOAT and who's the best player. So keep that in mind, and don't trash talk. Don't say you can beat somebody one-on-one online because they might reply to you. You don't know. Kevin Durant might reply to you and destroy you one-on-one somewhere. So don't do that.
Fly you out to
This is a
Brooklyn.
warning.
They probably beat you with their opposite hand and their eyes closed. It won't even be fair.
Bro, KD could put his left hand behind his back. He could show his right eye closed. And he could just dribble and just
wear an eye patch.
My God.
Literally.
It's crazy.
Also, since we're kind of summing up everything, don't say that you're in the upper echelon of humanity because you're not.
Wow, damn, that was.
I'm just.
Wow.
I'm just trying to. You may think you are, but you need to run it by Muhammad.
Oh,
right?
yes. Oh, I thought you were talking to Muhammad. I was like, wow.
Oh no. I'm saying
it's good. Even if he was talking
there.
to me, part of being there is understanding other people's opinions. So if he said that, guess what? The only thing I could do was prove it to him that I am. And I can make the choice to prove it to him or not prove it to him, but I can't be bothered about other people's opinions.
Facts. That's facts. Can't be worried about what other people think of you, yeah. But
that's a life lesson to everybody listening out there. It's not for free. This one's for free, but in the future, don't think it's gonna be for free.
He charges like 16 bands for this kind of stuff.
Trademarks, all that stuff.
Yeah. You're gonna go broke in a second.
It's a good message to end on. Respect other people's opinions. Don't get too mad about it. Don't go on social media.
It sounds cliche, but being on Twitter for basketball is just following a bunch of basketball accounts is just straight up biased and just people attacking each other because they think something different. It's crazy.
Mass tweeting, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't spend all your day on Twitter, man. Look at some other things.
Yeah, it's not good for you. It is not good for you.
It's not good for you. It's a good message to end on. It's noon. The Bears are on too, so we're like 50 minutes right here, 51. So
here we go. Let's go.
Appreciate everybody here, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in another episode with your opinions, everything. The KD, with the recaps of everything with Giannis and Kyrie, and Iggy. So appreciate you guys. YouTube. You're probably watching on YouTube now, but you might be listening on Spotify, Apple Music. We don't know. So we appreciate you. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you can find us. Really, we are a prime news source in the NBA, and we respect other people's opinions. So
we are.
That's far and rare to come across, I think. So appreciate you, everybody.
Our sources are elite too. So.
Thanks.
Peace.
All right. Peace.